Moving on to other global stories we're tracking on Newspoint this morning. It's been 2 months since a deadly conflict broke out in Sudan, displacing at least 2 million while killing over 1,000. The power struggle between the two generals, Abdel Fattah-al Burhan and the paramilitary commander, Mohammed Hamdan Daga-lo, plunged the country into a devastating war, which seems nowhere near its end. In the latest, Khamis Abakar, the governor of West Darfur state, has been killed. The Sudanese army has accused the paramilitary RSF of kidnapping and assassinating the governor. According to the reports, in days preceding his assassination, Abakar had accused the RSF and allied militias of violence, calling it a genocide. The Sudanese army has condemned the killing, calling it a brutal act. It further added that the killing of West Darfur governor meant that the RSF has added a new chapter to its record of barbaric crimes that it has been committing against all the people of Sudan. According to the United Nations, at least 2 million people have been displaced from their homes in Sudan, as many fled in desperation to other neighboring countries of Chad, Ethiopia and Egypt, who themselves have very little to offer to the survivors. So far, hundreds of Sudanese have been killed since the infighting in Sudan broke out on the 15th of April. Several failed ceasefires and attacks on the medical facilities and medical aid workers have further added to the growing number of casualties. Now, despite the efforts by the volunteers and the aid workers to keep essential healthcare running, more than 60 hospitals in the conflict zones are out of service.
Practically, there are no healthcare services at all in Al-Junaina. It's a city of death. It's probably the worst part of Sudan currently. We know that we spoke to numerous healthcare professionals who fled to eastern Chad, and what they are describing is just simply horrifying and something that's completely heartbreaking. So the bottom line is, yes, there isn't healthcare services in Al-Junaina. In the entire region of Darfur, there hasn't been supplies that reach the area because of safety situations.
But despite the unrest, violence and the hostile environment, the Sudanese children are taking their final exams in Port Sudan after fleeing Khartoum. Take a look.
These students are taking their final exams in Port Sudan after fleeing Khartoum. The war between Sudan's army and paramilitary rapid support forces has raged for almost 2 months now. This school has been set up as an emergency arrangement for about 828 students who have fled the fighting. Aya Osman Ibrahim Daras is one of them. She says she came to Port Sudan when the war intensified and says she's been able to study despite the unstable circumstances. Amira Bakar Ali is a mother who says her family had to leave Khartoum with nothing, no books for her child to study from. She thanks officials for letting the students sit for their exams here. Port Sudan has already taken in over 13,000 students for exams in 97 centers, according to an official. The war has forced 2 million people to flee and has wrecked the economy, causing frequent electricity and water outages.